The closure of the Juanico Bridge is not merely a regional inconvenience. It is a national failure that exposes the fragility of our infrastructure system and the negligence of those entrusted with safeguarding them. And it could have been prevented. This is negligence, plain and simple, and it is unacceptable.
I just feel bad that parang pinagbibintangan natin dito ngayon na meron neglect on DPWH. Because in the last RDC, Mr. Speaker, it was brought up that every year, DPWH will report kung ano yung kailangan ayusin sa atin. And also, andun lagi ang Juanico Bridge. Tignan natin yung sarili natin dito sa Kongreso. Bakit hindi natin napondohan yung nire-request nila? Kung matutuloy ang investigation natin, let's go. We will have to ask the committee secretary to please prepare all the requests of DPWH with regards to Juanico at the start of 19th Congress. Because as reported, every year, every budget year, nire-request nila yon. Baka kung sakaling hindi na ibigay yun, baka tayo yung nag-remiss. Baka nakalimutan lang natin. Baka hindi natin nakita na talagang kailangan palang ponduhan ang pagpapaayos ng Juanico Bridge, Mr. Speaker. So, in part of his resolution, we ask that all records of requests coming from DPWH, ilabas po natin.
Today I stand before you not just as representative of Tingog Party List, but as a voice of a region now crippled, a community now suffering, and a people now calling for action. The closure of the Juanico Bridge is not merely a regional inconvenience. It is a national failure that exposes the fragility of our infrastructure system and the negligence of those entrusted with safeguarding them. And it could have been prevented. On May 8, the Department of Public Works and Highways issued a public advisory effectively banning trucks and buses exceeding 3 metric tons from crossing the Juanico Bridge. This decision was based on a structural integrity assessment that, while necessary, came far too late. Let's call this, for what it is, a breakdown in preparedness. The Juanico Bridge is more than just a structure of concrete and steel. It is more than an engineering marvel, nor it is just a scenic route tourists love to photograph. It is the beating heart of Eastern Visayas. It connects Leyte and Samar, two island economies, entirely reliant on this singular link. It is a vital artery of the Pan-Philippine Highway, our country's backbone for land-based movement of goods, services, and people. Every day, thousands of vehicles, including around 1,400 heavy trucks, traverse this bridge, each one carrying life, livelihood, and hope. And when you cut that link, without warning or preparation, everything else breaks down. Overnight, we saw the movement of goods grind to a halt and supply chains disrupted. Truckloads of farm produce from Samar and Mindanao could no longer make it to Tacloban or to the major markets in Luzon. Construction materials were stranded. Hardware supplies delayed. Even medicines couldn't be delivered on time. This is more than a mere logistical nightmare. It is a crisis of foresight, of preparedness, of leadership. And who feels it the most? It's the ordinary Filipino who bears the brunt of this failure. It's the small farmer whose perishable crops are rotting on the side of the road because they don't have access to adequate storage facilities. It's the sari-sari store owner who suddenly has to raise prices because transport costs doubled. It's the patient waiting for medicine struck on a truck. It's the mother worried sick that milk and diapers might not arrive on time. What is worse, Mr. Speaker, is that this could have been avoided. The Juanico Bridge did not age overnight. Its structural problems were not a surprise. Yet DPWH waited for the results of a consultant study before taking any real action, and by then it was too late. There were no contingency measures in place, no alternative routes ready, no emergency logistics plan. This is negligence, plain and simple, and it is unacceptable. We all know that the San Juanico Bridge is over 50 years old. It's no surprise to anyone. We all know that time, weather, and overloading have taken their toll on the structure. But what did DPWH do to prepare? They waited. They didn't plan. They didn't coordinate ahead with local governments or the private sector. They failed to engage the region before dropping a decision that would paralyze its economy. When the advisory came, it came like a lightning bolt. Businesses were caught off guard. Local government units were left scrambling. National agencies had no ready roadmap for rerouting, for regulating traffic, for handling freight, or even for keeping stranded travelers safe. Mr. Speaker, let me be clear. The people of Eastern Visayas are not angry because the bridge is being repaired. We welcome this rehabilitation. What we cannot accept is the insensitivity, the utter disregard of those entrusted to plan this repair. Last May 17, we sat down with the representatives of the concerned agencies. While I commend those who showed up, listened, and committed to act, the truth was also painfully clear. Most agencies were reacting, not leading. Maritime alternatives were still being studied. Port readiness is still lagging. No clear timeline in place. We have yet to place a system for price control. And stranded truck drivers were for hours, times days, with no compensation for lost time. This cannot stand. This must not stand. We need all hands on deck, and we need them now. Government agencies must work together, not in silos, not in press releases, but in action. They need to set up interim transport solutions, fast-track permits, manage port congestion, prevent overpricing, provide basic support to stranded motorists, and ensure that our medical and food supply chains don't collapse. And DPWH must answer, not just with updates, but with accountability. Where were the warning systems? Where were the contingency protocols? Why was there no engagement with regional stakeholders months ago? It is infuriating that we are made to feel like we are an afterthought when in fact Eastern Visayas have long been a reliable partner in national development. Our local government units did not wait. The provincial government of Samar, under the leadership of Governor Sharian Tan, quickly convened stakeholders. The Executive Committee of the Regional Development Council, under the chairmanship of Mayor Lucy Torres, immediately called for an emergency meeting. They offered ideas, they took initiative, they moved because waiting was not an option. And Mr. Speaker, our business community rose to the challenge. The Philippine Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Tacloban Leyte, the Tacloban Filipino-Chinese Chamber of Commerce, the Constructors Association, the Drugstores Association, and others who did not only raise the alarm, but also roll their sleeves to help craft solutions. Mr. Speaker, this is why Tingog Party List filed a bill declaring the Maharlika Highway as our national food highway. Because roads like this one are not just infrastructure, they are lifelines. They are critical to food security, health delivery, and economic movement. They are the arteries that pump life to our nation, connecting our regions and sustaining our communities. And today, with a few days left in our calendar, I am filing a resolution calling for a congressional inquiry into the current state of the San Juanico Bridge and the actions or inaction of DPWH and other agencies. But I know resolutions alone won't solve this. What is needed now is a decisive, coordinated action. Concrete, immediate interventions on the ground, not delays, not deferrals, to stop this crisis from spiraling into a broader economic and social catastrophe. We're facing escalating freight costs, longer transit times, looming economic slowdown, reduced investor confidence, and potential ripple effects on food security and health logistics nationwide. These demands an urgent, no excuses economic mitigation plan, one that recognizes the severity of the situation and responds with the urgency reserved for natural disasters. Structural repairs must be matched by aggressive, well-sourced economic support. Policies must be aligned, emergency funds disbursed, and those responsible for delivery held to account immediately and without compromise. Because this is not just an Eastern Visayas crisis. This is a national systems failure in plain sight. And if we do not fix it now, we are guaranteeing that it will happen again somewhere else with even higher stakes. Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleagues, we must act now, immediately, no delays, no deferrals. Mobilize every agency, deploy the necessary resources, cut through bureaucratic inertia, and get boots on the ground without delay. This is a national emergency that demands utmost urgency, complete accountability, and steadfast commitment from every level of government and all sectors of society, because the lives of our people and the stability of our economy now hang in the balance. Let this crisis be our turning point. Let this be the time when we rise up to the challenge as one nation driven by purpose. Let us prove when crisis strikes, we do not hesitate. We stand together, we act together, and do whatever it takes to safeguard our fellow Filipinos and secure our nation's future. Mr. Speaker, the people of Eastern Visayas is calling out for help. Let us answer their call. Let us act decisively. Let us lead with conviction. Maraming salamat po.
Hearing the privileged speech of Congressman Jude Acidre, I was once a part of the RDC 8 when I was mayor of Ormoc City. And on a yearly basis, all the problems na kinakailangan natin na ponduhan kung mayroong problema, ito ay laging tinitake up sa RDC. So yung mga regional offices, kung yung kailangan nila, inire-report po yun. I just feel bad that parang pinagbibintangan natin dito ngayon na meron neglect ang DPWH. Because in the last RDC, Mr. Speaker, it was brought up that every year, DPWH will report kung ano yung kailangan ayusin sa atin. And also, andun lagi ang San Juanico Bridge. It is in the RDC report, if we will take a look at it, Mr. Speaker. So in this investigation that you want to happen, I don't know kung matutuloy pa to this coming week or pagpasok natin ng 20th Congress, they will tell you na every year, never sila nagka-remiss sa pag-report, sa pagsabi na ang San Juanico Bridge, kinakailangan ng i-retrofit, kailangan ng repair, kailangan ng annual maintenance. Siguro, maganda rin, Mr. Speaker, tignan natin sarili natin dito sa Kongreso. Bakit hindi natin napondohan yung nire-request nila? Why I'm speaking here today is because yung problema ng San Juanico, that is 110 kilometers away from Ormoc City, nararamdaman din namin yan. Ngayon lang kami nagkakaroon ng pila ng truck sa loob ng Ormoc City. And when they stay in Ormoc City, we don't have ready restrooms for them. Saan sila nagdudumi? Sa tabi-tabi. It is also affecting the health and cleanliness of our city in Ormoc. So in this coming investigation, Congressman Acidre, please take note that the RDC report, every year, merong nire-report na merong pangangailangan ang DPWH with regards to maintenance, repair, and annual check-up of the San Juanico Bridge.
Honorable Gomez, is that a manifestation or
It is a manifestation, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, Honorable Acidre?
Mr. Speaker, I just would like to qualify the position of this representation. We have no arguments, and we agree that for the longest time we have been asking funding, even not only for the repair of the San Juanico Bridge, but including the construction of a second San Juanico Bridge, considering that we have already seen the wear and tear and the life of the structure itself. However, the position of this representation with regards to the privilege speech is about having to impose the restriction, the load restriction on the San Juanico Bridge without prior preparation and without prior notice to the concerned stakeholders. For the record, as I mentioned in my privilege speech, we are not against the rehabilitation. In fact, we welcome it. In fact, for the longest time, we've been asking for it. But the problem with the current situation is that the announcement was made on the same day the restriction took effect. And in that case, as the honorable colleague from Ormoc has mentioned, Congressman Gomez has mentioned, not everyone is ready to address the consequences with the changes in terms of alternative maritime routes, in terms of the adjustment in the traffic, and even, as mentioned earlier, even the sanitation and the other services needed for the truckers. I think it's important to qualify that our concern stems from this. Because as mentioned earlier by the Honorable Garin, this is a matter that did not happen overnight. This is something that could have been avoided. Preparations could have been made earlier. The moment DPWDH felt that they needed to take in a consultant to make an structural integrity assessment of the bridge, should have started the need to draw contingency plans. It should have already beckoned DPWH to consider the worst scenario so that in case a situation would have been recommended that would warrant the restrictions on the bridge, then there would be a minimal disruption to the movements of goods and peoples as well as services from the islands of Leyte to Samar. We are one with the Honorable Gomez in saying that this has been a long concern of the region, having been part also of the Advisory Council of the Regional Development Council of the region. We've worked also closely in recommending funding for the second San Juanico Bridge. There is no question about that. Our concern for this matter is that this situation where we find ourselves in, wherein there was little or there was not inadequate preparation given prior to the closure or the imposition of load restrictions on the San Juanico Bridge, could have been done better. And it's important that we put this in mind because it could happen somewhere else under similar, even worse circumstances. So it's important that before such decisions of such magnitude are taken, there could have been proper coordination with the different stakeholders.
Mr. Speaker, as part of last part of my manifestation, I would like to add, Mr. Speaker, kung pwede, kung matutuloy ang investigation natin, we will have to ask the committee secretary to please prepare all the requests of DPWH with regards to San Juanico at the start of 19th Congress. Because as reported, every year, every budget year, nire-request nila yon. Baka kung sakaling hindi na ibigay yun, baka tayo yung nag-remiss. Baka nakalimutan lang natin. Baka hindi natin nakita na talagang kailangan palang ponduhan ang pagpapaayos ng San Juanico Bridge, Mr. Speaker. So, in part of his resolution, we ask that all records of requests coming from DPWH, ilabas po natin. Thank you.
Noted. Thank you, Honorable
Honorable
Gomez.
Acidre.
Thank you, Honorable Acidre.